Top 10 cards from Maze of Millennia. The Promethean Princess deck box is still up. We have the regular edition with no field center up right now. I will leave a link down below so you can grab yours today. And remember, this little Ponix is the most adorable thing in the whole wide world. So cute. Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out more awesome. We're starting off over here with the Harmonic Synchro Fusion. I think this is one of the coolest design cards in the game because it lets you send a tuner and a non-tuner face up on the field to the graveyard to special summon from each of the following. So you make a synchro monster that could be synchro summon using those two monsters, and you also simultaneously fusion summon a fusion monster that could be summoned using those two monsters that you just sent to the graveyard. And you cannot special summon from the extra deck turn you activate this except for fusion and synchro monsters, but that's fine, right? That's the downside to playing such a powerhouse card. And I honestly, thinking about like future card design in the way that this feels like it works, this is one of those cards that you just look at and you're like, holy crap, like there is so much potential here. Yes, I do agree with that sentiment. I think this is just a walking, talking time bomb. Next up is Stone Sweeper. So if there's a card in the field zone, we can special summon this card from our hand. Do we really care about that? Sometimes. But the thing that we do care about here is you can discard this card. So you have a special summon if there's a field zone face up. We can discard this card to add a level 3 Fiend Tuner monster or lower from our deck to our hand. A Fiend Tuner. But you cannot special from the extra deck for the rest of this turn except for fusion and synchro monsters the turn that you use that effect. So let's think a minute here. Resonators? Ah, yes, Resonators. This is actually one of the coolest cards in the set. We've been waiting for this thing because this is the discard search for any Fiend Tuner that you're going to want in your arsenal. And I think that, well, honestly, let's give it up, everybody. The fact that you can now tutor for any of the value cards in your deck is good. Next up is Armored Exceeds. So this is the last missing card that we needed to be able to do the dual search. Let you target a face-up monster you control one Exceed monster in your graveyard. Equip that monster from your graveyard to that monster on the field as an equipped spell card with the following effects. So change the equipped monster's attack to equal the monster's attack that's equipped. Equipped monster gains the monster's attribute, and then at the end of the damage step, if that monster attacked, you can send this card to the graveyard. That attacking monster can make a second attack during each battle phase. So you get an attack modifier, which does kind of matter a little bit. I think a lot of people kind of underestimate some of the value that you can get with these sorts of cards, but you've also got to remember that, you know, you are doing full Armored Exceeds plays as it is, so you kind of got to make sure that whatever value you're trying to get with this, if not, it's just going to be another search along the way for more extra burst of damage on the opponent. Next up here is going to be the Horned Sorus. And, okay, Horned Sorus in the Kaito Patara. I think these are pretty major cards for dinosaurs. Yeah, honestly, for dinosaurs. Like, the fact that, yes, you do have to play a polymerization in your deck for this to get, like, the most maximum value that you would want to see. But the biggest thing here is they can, if they get drolled off of the poly search, they can now just go into the fusion here, activate Lost World from their deck, and they can technically attempt to play the game, which is actually one of the things that they needed. They needed a way to, you know, play around the current terrors of the format. And honestly, this mini package, as bad as it looks on paper, like, oh, I have to play polymerization and dinosaurs, it is quite good, all right? So don't underestimate. Next up is Rescue Ace Hydrant. I can't believe that reprints are making the top of the charts for this set because, like, the way that this set is structured, the reprints are actually pretty broken. Like, they did a fantastic job with this set, but Hydrant needed a reprint, and this is also For the to the players out here that have been wanting, cheaper, affordable cards to be able to have, this is like insanity as well, because Hydrant getting knocked off of that pedestal that was craziness now opens up the door for budget players. They also just reprinted, all of the essentials that you're going to need, including Turbulence. All right, so now Hydrant should not be paid well behind $30 that it was previously. This now gives you the chance to go, hey, we can pick these up. We can have the opportunity to play these now. Good job on this one. All right, speaking of knocking things off pedestals, we have Thrust. Should have been Chaos Angel, but you know what? I'll take one of the two. All right, we had a feeling that this was going to happen somewhere along the way. There's always got to be one other big card in the set to do their thing, and they chose Thrust to do it. But Thrust moving in above Hydrant here, you got to think about it this way. Thrust just had its ulti. We had the Seek Rare. The next natural progression on the knockdown here is Thrust. All right, and also Thrust has been one of the craziest metagame cards that we have had in so long. So many people have looked at this card and they went, yeah, we need this. All right, pulls out literally any spell. Talent's already got the reprint, so the next natural thing is we have to go for the reprint equity that is Thrust. And this was a good put into the set. Honestly, between Transaction, Rollback, Bonfire, and this, those cards are going to sell this set 150% over. Like, it's actually kind of crazy here. Next up is Infection #1 Buzz King. And this card has a crazy amount of hype about it right now. Because remember, it's 2+ level 8s to make it. Once returned during the standby phase, you can attach one card from your opponent's graveyard to this thing as material. Alright, you got to get it through to your next standby phase, which is going to be a little bit more difficult, but it's fine. And then on Exceed Summon, you can look at your opponent's extra deck and send one card from there to the graveyard. And then we can detach one material from this card, target one card your opponent controls, and destroy it. And then when you destroy the face-up card, or a face-up monster, you get to ping your opponent for damage. So the biggest thing here is on Exceed Summon, you get that extra deck rip away from your opponent. I think a lot of people are going to underestimate how good that ability to snipe something is, especially in the Labyrinth. Especially when, you've got this deck starting to, do all of this little crazy buildup here. Yes, this deck is going to be, or this card's really good. Next up is the Ashoka Pillar here. And this is... I'm only putting this so high on the list because you got to remember, we're putting this above Infection Buzz King here. I think Ashoka Pillar is one of the craziest cards in the set. On Summon, alright, that's normal or special, we can add any equipped spell card from our deck to our hand, and then if this card's in attack mode, it goes to defense mode. And that's on a level 3. Alright, so or level 3 Earth Rock. So think about it this way. You've got level 3 synergy. You can search for Snatch, Steal, any of the Minkanko equips that you need. Alright, like, you have access to any of that. And that's a lot to think about here. When you have literally any monster that can tutor for any equip, there's a lot of universal utility that goes into this. And we've seen this card. It was a dominating force out of some of the Japan events. Just stick the Ashoka on the field. Your opponent looks at it and goes, oh, okay. Next up is Transaction Rollback. This card is raved to be one of the craziest cards in modern era Yu-Gi-Oh! History. And I do agree with you. This now opens up not only Labyrinth getting to do double big welcome in a turn, which is already an annoyance in and itself. We also get the chance to do the Mayakashi trap card to blink your opponent's turn. That's right. You want the ability to shut your opponent off from getting the chance to play the game? Transaction Rollback and the help of Beatrice actually lets you do so. And it's kind of stupid, actually. I know, alright? Yeah, so exciting out here. Just seeing some of the BS that you can actually come up with this. And yeah, I do potentially think that this card is probably going to get limited at some point in its life. We'll have to wait and see. But overall, Transaction Rollback will be an annoying problem for a lot of people. I can't wait to see how many people are going to be like, oh, this is so broken. And honestly, I think the best card in the set is going to be Bonfire. I think putting Bonfire above Transaction Rollback is a little bit hard, but when you have a card that literally tutors and helps out, how how many fire decks are we actually helping out here at the moment by actually printing Bonfire as a card? That's what you got to think about here. How many decks are going to get a significant boost from the searchability of this? How many of these decks are going to get this explosive tutor ability to help you out with that? And that's why, like, Bonfire is, I think, the best card in the set, honestly. So that's everything that we got for Maze of Millennia. I think the set is actually kind of crazy, to say the least. So please, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.